9-2, adding and subtracting rational expressions. What is a rational expression? What's rational mean? What does ratio mean? A fraction. So in order to add or subtract fractions, what do we need? Very good. So tell Kuzi, shut it. She was wrong.
Exactly.
All right, rational expressions. Where are you going? Feel better. Are fractions, comma space, therefore, must, I'm capitalizing must, have common denominators. So you have to have common denominators. If you can remember that, you'll be in pretty good shape with this lesson. Like I said, there's only 4 examples, so there's not a ton. All right, here we go. Let's dive into this and see how we do with it. All right, example 1. 7a over 4b plus 4c squared over 10. All right, in order to add, we need common denominators. What's going to be my common denominators? I can do smaller. What's my least common denominator? What? You could tell me. You were so close when you said 40b. It just isn't the least common denominator. What if 4 and 10 both go into that's smaller than 40? No, 4 doesn't go into 2. 20. Right, but how do I get 4 to be 2? How do I get 4 to be 2, and how do I get 10 to be 2? Right, exactly. So good job, Colin. So 20b. So 20b is going to be my common denominator. What do I need to multiply 4b by to get to 20b? And if I do it to the bottom, I must do it to the top. So 7a times 5 is 35a. Yep. What do I need to multiply 10 by to get to 20b? So, Colin, you were right when you were saying 2, but I didn't want 2 to be my least common denominator. So if I multiply it by the bottom, I must do it to the top. All right, so 4 times 2 is 8bc squared. Can I add 35a and 8bc squared? No, I cannot. So my final answer, the way you would see it on the SAT or ACT if you were taking this, is 35a plus 8bc squared all over 20b. That would be your final answer. They would probably write it like that with one denominator. All right, we're 25% of the way through the lesson. Does it get harder? Minimally. All right, example 2. All right, give me just a second. (3x minus 4 over x plus 1 All right, girls, let me finish the lesson. You can talk all you want. I won't care. Thank you, as long as it's appropriate. Let's see here. Minus 2x minus 10 over x plus 1. All right, question. Do I have common denominators? Yes. So I can just go over here and write x plus 1. What is 3x minus 2x? X. And what's negative 4 minus 10? You are done. That's your final answer. We're halfway through the lesson. All right, so that one actually got easier. This one must get harder. And it does. All right, x over x minus 1. And I am leaving space there on purpose. Plus 2x minus 1 over x squared minus 3x plus 2. Jonah, any thoughts on what we could possibly do? Factor, yeah. Are there factors of 2 that equal negative 3? What are my factors of 2? 2 and 1. What's negative 2 minus 1? Negative 2 minus 1? Yep, if I borrow $2 and I borrow 1 more, how much have I borrowed? Negative 3. So does this equal this? Yes. So this will factor into x minus 1 and x minus 2. Because factors of 2 that equal negative 3. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. Negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. So therefore, what is my common denominator going to be? X minus 1 is half right. Multiply what to the other side? Yes, that is correct. So it's going to be x minus 1, x minus 2. I multiplied the bottom by x minus 2, so I must multiply the top by x minus 2. All right, so now I have common denominators. What should I do with the top of this left fraction? Top left rational number. Distribute. X times x is, and x times negative 2. Perfect. All right, so the bottom, I'm going to write it in the factored form. X minus 1, x minus 2. And now let's see what happens to the top. Is there anything to combine the x squared with? Nope, so it just goes along. Negative 2x plus 2x is 0. And then negative 1 comes along for the ride. Will x squared minus 1 factor? Are there factors of 1 that equal 0? Or if you remember back to like August or September, we learned about difference of 2 squares, which said when this is a perfect square and this is a perfect square and this is a difference, we can factor it into x plus 1, x minus 1. So that gives me x plus 1, x minus 1 over x minus 1, x minus 2. Can I cancel anything? Not plus 1, x minus 1. So that cancels and that cancels. So my final answer is x plus 1 over x minus 2. X plus 1 over x minus 2 is my final and complete answer. All right, we're 75% of the way done. Not too bad yet, right? We'll see on the homework. All right, example 4, last one. All right, here we go. It is y over, that's a y, over 4y plus 8 minus 1 over y squared, I'll get it in a second, y squared plus 2y. We have to reverse engineer this. Valentina, what do I mean by reverse engineer this? Any idea? Or am I making stuff up? I don't know either. Let's see if we can figure it out though. Alright, well on the other ones, it was pretty easy to find the common denominator. This one, not so much. So what I'm going to do is factor both bottoms. What can I factor out of 4y and 8? Bigger? 4. So I can factor this out as a 4 and a y plus 2, correct? How about here? Can I factor anything out of here? I can factor a y out. You are correct. And then that gives me y plus 2. So if you notice, we have a y plus 2 and a y plus 2, correct? So what's missing from this side? No, it has the 4, it's missing the y, so I need to add a y over here. So if I add a y to the bottom, I must add a y to the top. And what's y times y? Y squared. All right, what was missing from my right term? The 4. Much like my purple pen. Oh, what happened to that? So I'm just going to, this looks a little bit like a confuzzle. So let's try and make this a little bit easier to read. So now I have y squared over 4y, y plus 2, minus 4 over 4y, y plus 2. Do I have common denominators?
Yes.
So can I subtract these? Yes. So that's going to give me y squared minus 4 over 4y, y plus 2. What's special about this y squared? It is a, what's special about this 4? What's special about the minus?
It's a difference of squares.
Yes, it's the difference of squares. Again, so this will factor into, you are absolutely correct. And now, can I cancel out anything? Y plus 2 and y plus 2. So my final answer is going to be y minus 2 over 4y. Once you understand you have to get a common denominator and then add or subtract and then cancel out as much as you can, it's not terrible. All right, how long did I say this lesson would take?
15 minutes.
And it's been 13 minutes and 45 seconds.